Hi. God wanted me to make another video, so here I am. Jeez. Um, okay. Some people were asking, how in the world did all this happen anyway? Like, and honestly, it's like fate and destiny coming to play because I had to be shown who and what I am. And so my true love was used to show me that, things could have gone a different way. In another, if there were some other timeline where he would have made different choices, it would have gone different. I would have realized that in a different way. Probably, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But what happened was, oh gosh, some of you know the longer version of the story because I shared it years ago. Um, and that is that I I felt there, my I used to my profession in a way was, I mean, God told me my niche in the work that I was doing as an intuitive spiritual teacher was to help people find their true love. That's what I was doing. That's what I was all about back then. But God told me you are going to, in order to be good at what you're going to be doing in the future, you have to know the dark stuff. You're going to have to know more than fairies and unicorns and all the beautiful, flittery, happy, magical stuff. You're going to have to dive into the dark side. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have anything to do with any kind of darkness or any of that stuff. And he was like, well, it's part of what you're here for. It's part of what you need to help people with and stuff. And I was like, oh, I had already been through a lot of trauma in my life. So, I mean, it's not like I'm not willing to go into like healing wounds and trauma and all that kind of stuff. I had PTSD and all that. So I've already been helping with all that. So it's not like had rose-colored glasses on and only wanted to talk about good stuff. But at the same time, I didn't want to know about some of the dark stuff because I don't like those energies at all. Anyway, so I was all about true love back then. And I came across a celebrity, I guess you could say, and I got a lot of confirmation that he was my person. Now, as you know, when I would talk about true love all the time, there's not really just one person for you. It's like the way I've explained it is there's a person kind of designated as your twin flame. So it's the energy of the flame, right? So you get this twin flame or whatever you want to call it. And I see it almost like the Olympics or like all the sperm that tries to get to the egg kind of thing. They get passed a torch. They get an opportunity with you. When they meet you, you light a fire in them. Literally, I mean, it's like I've felt it before intuitively. It's kind of like a Kundalini activation, right? So they get this fire lit in them, and so do you. You guys are like, oh my gosh. And then what happens is they're given this incredible opportunity to be with you, but it's in disguise because it it challenges every people pleasing part of them. You know, like they'd be in opposite religion, opposite color, opposite profession, opposite whatever it is. So you're not going to meet like in this way, like I'm going to get into like a new type of true love that's coming now. But back then, as a part of like cultivating and training us to be who we are and be strong and learn to really love ourselves, we would go through these like twin flame type loves where somebody would the masculine, which could be a feminine or a female or a male. It's not a gender thing. It would just be more the masculine runs away and people pleases, and the feminine one wants to embrace it, wants to learn, wants to grow, wants to come together. Um, and holds on to the love with all their heart, really, really wants it to work, really, really wants it to happen. And they sit around waiting for it and they get readings on it and everything. They're just like, why did he leave? Why did he run away? Well, it's because a lot of the feminines are, um, they're divine feminines, they are there to lure in, kind of be God's lures to have those masculines kind of have epiphanies and growth spurts that would challenge their beliefs and things that are holding them back and all the people pleasing to go to the next level to be better people in order to be with the feminine, if they can make it, if they can do it, if the sperm can get to that egg. But and some masculines would, dip his toe in or try or do different things to try to change their life. But ultimately, they would succumb to the people pleasing again, or the addiction, or whatever was holding them back, right? This is with each different couple. And for me, I've been through quite a few of those relationships where there'd be this awesome meet cute, there's all those wonderful things, all the fireworks and all the signs and synchronicities, and just being tormented by seeing them all the time, everywhere, reminders of them everywhere, which sometimes can be Satan too. Kind of tempting you toward the wrong person for you. But um a lot of you kind of clung to that, and maybe you don't go out very often, or maybe you don't run into people very often, or whatever. So it's like some of you have thought, that's my only chance for love is this one person, and they hold to it for years and years. And then, or maybe, I don't know, there's a number of different factors. So sometimes it's one and sometimes it's many. It really doesn't matter, but it goes the same way. Okay. And then, if the person can, if the divine masculine and the divine feminine has to learn to love herself more than she wants to be in a relationship. That's the ultimate goal. They got to let go. They got to surrender, and they have to love themselves more than they love the relationship, even. Because if they love themselves, they can treat the other person best also, right? So each masculine gets a chance. And the feminine also has to take her chance at letting go and loving herself. So what happened in this particular scenario with this celebrity was we got the chance. We got the chance, and we like glommed onto each other and didn't ever want to let go. It was just this this like, this mad, crazy, like, you, I never want to let you. I can't believe I found you. And then, I think he would, obviously he's Hollywood is a very, very, very toxic, fake place. It's horrible. And most of them are into Satanism. Well, yeah, like 98% are into like all the sex trafficking and all the ugly, nasty stuff. And I didn't know back when I felt like I got the confirmation that he was my person, right? I didn't know at that time just how bad it was. You hear stories of them signing their lives away to the devil or something, you hear stuff like that. And it's just like, okay, well, I didn't know how bad it was. So once I realized how bad it was, I thought, well, I'm more concerned about my audience and being kind of like a mama bear looking out for everybody than I care at the fact that my twin flame is a celebrity, right? So I chose you guys. I chose you guys and protecting you guys over what I had with him. And I said, you know what? I got to talk about this. Because why? Because God tells me what to talk about, what to do, and I do it and I obey no matter what. Could it have, sacrificed my relationship with him? Absolutely. And I knew that, but I had to do the right thing. I had to do the right thing. I had to at least care that much about my audience, even though it was as small as it was, I had to care that they know what was going on in that world. So I started to talk about that too. So that's when I became all about truth, love, and true love, right? So then I started getting weird stalker stuff kind of starting to happen, like in Boulder. And then I had like my evil brother like come and move in next door and be really crazy. And then we had a wildfire like that just came practically right, just a few hundred feet from it. Seemed like, I don't know how far it was, but like a football field basically from my front door. um So that really, all of that just made me, when it kept escalating and the police were in on it and they were gaslighting me and they weren't even listening to me when I would tell them about the weird stalker who would just sit there and stand. Anytime there was any kind of space in my window and where you could look out the windows, he would just stand there and stare at me at a distance with his arms to his side. It was really weird. I don't know why they do that. It's so stupid. It's like doesn't even make any sense. I would just be like, okay. But anyway, it was really creepy. And one time I called him on it and yeah, like I said, that I just got gaslit. Now, gaslighting, if you guys don't know, it's what narcissists do to try to put it on you, to try to act like you're the one who's crazy. This can't be, this can't be true. It's all you. But the ones who do the gaslighting and say that it's all you are the ones who are actually in on it, just like them calling people who tell the truth conspiracy theorists. That term was made up by when JFK was talking out about this kind of stuff. They came up with the term to throw everybody off and say people who talk like that are crazy, and people who care about people pleasing would listen to that and say, well, yeah, they must be crazy if they're doing that. You got to go with the flow. You have to go with the popular thing everybody's saying. You can't go against the flow and say things that are like that. You know what I mean? So anyway, and on that note too, I was going to mention direct energy weapons are like the perfect weapon for these guys because they're so sneaky and they're such cowards that they have to hide all the time. They have to sneak around and do this and do that. So it's all in secret and it's all like, so nobody could, I mean, if you were to have walked outside, if you were to walk, and I think I suspect that there were people who actually did this. I don't know, but if you were to walk outside somebody's window who has one of those things going, you could hear it from the window. I've walked by and heard it going. So you can hear it if you walk by or stand outside the window. So, but that's all you can hear is some kind of a whooshing like a washing machine, you know? But you can be convicted of a crime based on what is it called? Reasonable suspicion. So I thought you had to have proof or something like that, but you can have reasonable suspicion for somebody to be put away. And especially if there's like, I'm sure, a lot of these people have a track record of using it at all these different locations. And there's got to be evidence of like, if like the place that I was talking about the last time I talked, like you could go in there and probably measure the radiation in there, that stuff probably doesn't go away for some time. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they have it mastered to an art to where it just dissipates immediately or something. I don't know. Because they're that sneaky that they probably would do something like that. But anyway, so their biggest weapon is gaslighting, making you look like you're crazy. So you better be confident in who you are and have a reputation like mine to where I am very known for my integrity and my truth and me speaking my mind. And I'm not afraid to speak my mind, as you can tell, you know, people know what I'm thinking because I say it. So, and I'll make people uncomfortable, but I just feel like, we need to really start living in authenticity and truth here, We're coming into those times. We're going to be telepathic, you guys. Everything's going to be transparent going forward. I just happen to be maybe a little ahead of a lot of people that are going to be that way in the future. We're all going toward truth and integrity. Trust me. If you're not in truth and integrity, you're going to be in a whole different timeline. So, what was I getting at? I think what happened in that relationship is what I was going to get at. And now this is just me surmising and feeling it out over a period of time. For one, I started to talk out against Hollywood. Not against even, just educating people on what goes on and all of their, just all of that. I started talking about that years ago. So that may have upset him. But I was telling him, like, I still want to go forward. I still believe in you. I think that, that there are varying degrees of having been involved in everything. And, I got reassurance from him that he's, helping the white hats to an extent. Or maybe that was a lie. I don't know. But I definitely got indicators that he was somehow, on the good guy side, more on the good guy's side than, that he had done bad things, but it was somehow, it seemed to me, he gave me the impression that he was actually helping somehow, right? Then what I think happened is he started kind of going through a really rough patch, and he had his ex that was trying to manipulate him and come back into his life, and she was mad about me. She knew about me. Um, she went public kind of making fun of me or putting it in my face that she had gone to visit him, tried to hurt me, but I didn't care because I didn't, I only care if somebody that I respect a lot says something to me, and anybody who respected me a lot would say it in such a way that I would actually really take it in. I'd be like, oh, you're right, I actually respect you and you respect me, and that, wow, that hit. But it wouldn't be a fight, it wouldn't be like blah, 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 putting something in somebody's face, or that's all that childish stuff. It doesn't bother me. I just I'm just like, okay, I can tell where you're at. Um, but anyway, so I think he just had a lot of, I could be totally wrong. This is just what I could tell on my side is that he kept trying to be himself, the real him. He kept trying to, like, I was his muse. I was his way of, like, in the corner over here, he could kind of secretly go in his little Amy Disneyland and kind of be himself over here in this little private little corner of his life, but kind of like push it back here. And then he was trying to act Hollywood out here. And I think that there was this big major clash in him. And he finally succumbed to, or gave into the pressures. There were a lot of demons. And I even warned him. I said, dude, people are trying to get you to stay on the Hollywood path, but Hollywood is going down. Like, I don't know what you think it's staying there around those people. Like, all these fake people who are they're reckless, and they're on drugs, and they're going after children, and they're doing all that stuff, and they're involved in those pizza parties and all that other bullshit. And I was like, you don't want to, like, I don't know. I was like, I can understand that people are probably, trying to make me look bad so that you don't, want to go this direction, or maybe, how would that go? You start, dating a psychic, they'd call me a psychic or whatever, whatever jabs they could make to make me look bad or whatever. But he didn't believe, like he was just so scared, I think, of what everybody would think of us being together, that he eventually chose to ask someone else to marry him. I was like, wow. Wow. Now, even when they started dating, I was like, oh, that's a total mismatch. Like, even maybe I could even approve if the person, like, seems like somebody that I would approve of or something, like, not that I need to approve of anything, but I'm just saying, like, it was obvious to me. I was like, not even, no, what are you thinking, and maybe it's just because I'm intuitive and I can just tell, somebody's energy. And I was just like, no, that's not good. Anyway, hang on a second. I need to do some praying for a minute. I'll just do it with you guys. Shi katadon sa se na trukata I shi e pohoan. Tara sa hai. Hai ke e lohuana shi in kaita. Asasa why. Tuton da shi in gana trans sa se. Tutu tutu sa. Is that better? Is it okay? When your animals try to get your attention, do something about it, like, immediately, because they're trying to warn you. They're looking out for you, and they're looking out for the energy in your home and stuff. You got to clear it or do a blessing or something to help the situation, because they really pick up on energy. Anyway, and I'm not doing this to embarrass him. I'm just saying that these things that you go through these little steps all along the way, and then you don't realize until in retrospect, oh, that's how it all happened, or that's how when it started going downhill, and that's when, oh God, and it seemed to build on momentum and go faster and faster to the point where it just went out of control. And then it's just like, how did we get here? So I think what happened is he you could tell that she was bossing him around and telling him what to do and kind of like took control of him. Probably had a spell on him. I have no idea. All they do is spells, it seems. They're always casting spells on people, on all of you, on all the drinks you drink, and all of the, all those, they've been trying to control us all and threaten us all with black magic for a really long time. So, and a lot of you don't even know that that's why you lost your job, or that's why, this bad thing happened, or any good person, any good, honest person out there, especially those who are talking out. Yeah, they get like big time targeted. Big time target. Look out for kind, loving people in your life, guys. Look out for them and be there for them, please. Okay, um, so I think what happened was then he started to kind of, maybe he had to explain me to her or something, and maybe he lied about me, tried to make me look bad or something, and then maybe she took it the wrong way and started doing black magic on me. I know that she started attacking me. The ex that was trying to get back with him started attacking me. I started getting attacked by all of these people that were involved with him, that have been involved with him or were involved with him or whatever. And I was like, great. Now he's turning all of Hollywood on me. And then it started spreading. And then I started getting, like these other celebrities piling on me that were like into witchcraft and all that stuff. I was like, oh, well, great. Thanks. Not only do you choose somebody else, but now I get all of Hollywood coming at me. And I was just fighting like you can't believe against black magic, just constantly. It was exhausting, but it built my skills and abilities. This is where like fate comes in or destiny comes in, and God uses it. God always uses everything to his advantage, even the bad stuff. So this is where God was like, I told you you'd be diving into the dark stuff. And I was like, yeah, thanks. Thanks for the warning, at least. So then I had to, do research on certain things and find out like why do they do it? How do they do it? I still don't know a lot of that. A lot of it I actually learned by going to official Christian TV, and you can hear them in the background saying these different things, and you're just like, what? They use witch baskets? Like, what the hell is that? They whisper in witch baskets? So funny. I'm laughing so hard. So I'm like, oh man. Anyway, they do some crazy things. They do some horrible things. But anyway, yeah, so that's basically what happened. Is I think that if he could admit it to himself, I think that he's very, very pissed off that he knows that he made a decision based on status, based on money, based on popularity, based on the pressure of people in Hollywood who probably knew he was supposed to be with me. They knew my destiny, and they knew that combination would be like, no, that's not going to happen. They put the kibosh on that quick. They put the lid on that. They were like, if those two get together, if he's able to actually, take this leap of faith and be with her, like it would, we would have rocked this world. If that would have happened back in the day, if that would have happened, we would have made a tremendous impact in this world. So the powers that be that knew about he and I think just completely did all the, hi, you okay? Did all the, whatever they could do within their power. The exes did it, whoever, and the current person did it. Like everybody just piled on and said, no, this isn't ever good. No, not happening. So, and they got their way. They got him. They sucked him in. They made him do what they wanted him to do, and he went along with it. And he decided to marry her or whatever. I don't even know if they actually got married or not. But once it was like announced that he had proposed, hello, just passing through. But once they had announced, once they had announced that 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 a major commitment like that, I was gone. I was like out of there. I'm like, I'm not even gonna talk to you anymore. I'm not gonna have anything to do with you anymore. And he did kind of allude to me to like wanting me to be so distraught over the whole thing that I would fight for him and that I might wait until, you know, his own way of communicating this idea to me was interesting, but he was kind of wanting me to wait until that relationship might be over and then he'd come for me. Just kind of stringing me along. It's just like, you know, you could just wait till I'm done with this one and then we can, I was like, no, that really doesn't appeal to me. That's where this whole thing about I had to pick loving myself above wanting to be with this person. And I just, was looking at his decisions and everything, and I was like, those are some really immature decisions. He doesn't love himself. He just wants to make people happy, and he wants the pats on the back and the fame and the being worshipped and stuff. And I was like, is that really the guy that I want to be with? I don't think so. I don't think so. And I was kind of staying in a way because just to keep giving him the benefit of the doubt, I believed in him and I felt like, I protected him. When he would get attacked, I was just totally hook, line, and sinker, just unconditionally loving him. And I was going to forgive him for anything and everything. I completely accepted him just for being himself. And, but I finally had to just let it go. I had to let it go when he chose someone else because that was where I drew the line. That was it. But apparently, he couldn't face the fact that he was the one who made a bad decision there. Not a bad decision. I don't mean to like knock her necessarily. I'm just saying it was a decision based on ego and not his heart. That's all. I know I was his heart. I know I was. I feel it in my soul. And, maybe he pretends, other people would say he was just, leading you on or, stringing you along, whatever. No, 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 no. You guys have no idea that you have no idea that he loved me. He loved me very hard. And I think it scared the crap out of him how much he loved me, which is beside the point. I'm just saying, though, that you can see where that whole world, like he would want to hide that. And this is that opportunity that the divine masculines get. Do you love yourself and make the authentic decision, or do you go with pleasing people and money and whatever you think will make you happy or whatever? So he made the wrong decision, according to God, who's all about truth and authenticity. God was like, well, I gave you the torch, you blew it, you blew the torch out. But what happens is that when a masculine says no to an opportunity by going in the other direction and kind of closing the door on the one with you, then they choose a whole other path. And that flame goes to the next person most likely to love you naturally. Then they become the twin flame. Then you go through the whole thing again, like the whole, and I haven't had that since him, actually. I haven't had another person that I would consider to be my true love since. It was pretty profound. Obviously, he touched my heart too. But cutting him off was the best decision of my life because I chose me. And then his really immature side, it's like you get in denial. If you're that immature, then you go into denial and then you think, well, then he had to cover up his tracks. Oh, she's this or she's that or whatever he started to say about me. And I gather this also from, God shows me so many signs and readings that other people do, like I've been telling you, one right after another, and they all back to back, confirm what the other just said, and they have nothing to do with each other. It's crazy. It's been kind of cool, kind of neat. But so I got that basically he just started to kind of lose his shit because he went the wrong direction. It just felt so wrong, so wrong. When you do that and you're just like, what did I just do? Oh shit. then your life pretty much starts falling apart. Well, he couldn't handle it. He couldn't take it. He couldn't. So he started hating me. He started hating the fact that I was kind of like this little mirror of, here's who you should be. You should be with me. You should have made this decision, you know? And so looking at me was this constant reminder that he wasn't living an authentic life. And it just like, he was, I don't know. He flipped out. He started just going, he just became like really obsessed, really angry. He started hating on me. And then I think he just started spreading all these lies to all these Hollywood people. They didn't do any research or find anything out about me. They just assumed he was telling the truth or whatever. They started going after, everybody started going after me, like I said. And I started having to really learn how to fight. Really learn how to fight. Like I learned kung fu. I learned like in the Matrix, dude. I was like, put it in. I got to learn it, chink. Okay, now I knew jujitsu, it was like that. So I started having to learn really fast, like how to stay alive because they were trying to kill me, my cats. Like they were really coming strong at me. And this was for like quite a while. And they're quite a network, like I've told you. Like they they all have each other's backs in a way. I mean, they would also stab each other in the back real quick and easy, but in a sense of I got to give it to them for networking. I mean, they know how to gossip and whisper about, but everybody knows. Um, so yeah, so I mean, like I can't even tell you how many times I was poisoned and what I was poisoned with. I gave you in that one video, I gave you guys a list of like 30 or 40 things for me and like 20 or more things for my cats. So, um, it has been such a battle. It's been such a battle and that I'm grateful for because in that process, God started to tell me all about being a chosen one, what that meant, what why I was alone, why I couldn't be with anybody through my training process, why I was being shaped and molded and taught the kung fu and everything, and all the incredible things that are coming from me on the other side of this, and that I would survive anything that I was going through in my training, even though at times I honestly felt like I was going to die. Seriously, like so many times, like just like after that last video that I made, she attacked me so hard. I didn't know that machine could go up higher than it did, but frickin' that thing, like to lay on my bed nearly gave me a heart attack. My heart just seriously, my heart. I was like very concerned I would have a heart attack. I was like, I can't lay on that bed. I don't know if I'm gonna have to do something else. I have to start thinking like if this is going to be a long-term thing, it's already like over 2 weeks. Like if this becomes I don't know what I'm going to have to do. And God was like, you stand firm, you will be delivered. So he was telling me all along, I was like, I want to get the hell out of here. And he's like, nope, 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 you stay put. You stand firm. And I was like, oh my God. Like I was like, I'm going to die. He's like, no, you're not. I was like, you expect me to endure this? Yes. He said, you got to do that. Like, do this. And I was like, oh, and I've had to do this in so many different situations where I wanted to flee. Like the last place that was doing a direct energy weapon on me, that place was intense too. It was just insane. And I was just like, God, I just want to go. I just want to go. Can I go? Can I go? And he was like, nope, 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 nope. And then the day came and he was like, okay, go. I was like, thank you. I'm out of here. So anyway, yeah, so she turned it up even more than it had been on before. And I couldn't, I was like, why? Why does this all go back to that lie from my prior divine masculine, who's no longer one of my divine masculines anymore? Because remember, he shut the door. The torch hasn't gone to anybody else that I'm aware of. Because been in training. I guess the torch has been on pause. I guess it's like in a case somewhere up on a like lock and key. And God's like, I'm not giving that torch to anybody until they've earned it. Like they're not getting to her. Not after all this stuff. So until they've proven that they can handle this kind of relationship. So basically, so yeah, it got really intense, and I learned that rubber is is absorbs enough rubber absorbs the energy being directed at you. Like, so I bought like 20 plus rubber mats because it was all I could find and all I it's like it got expensive. I was like, damn. And then, this many didn't work. So I'd have to go get more and more and more. And I was like, this is getting absolutely ridiculous. How do I get my hands on more rubber? Like I was like, do I take tires or like do I was trying to like think all creative. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute. Horse stalls have thick, they're like this thick rubber. I thought, and they're about the size of a bed, right? The horse mats, they're about the size of a bed. And I thought, oh my God, that's it. And so I went and I went and I got one of those and I had to ask some strange guy. Not that he was strange, but a guy I didn't know. I had to ask a guy I didn't know who was actually standing in line behind me. I was like, how would you like to make some extra money and just, help me to take this mat up into my place, like 15 minutes from here? And he was like, okay, I'll do it. And so I bought his stuff and he came over. He was a great guy, really great guy. And he came over and kind of looked at me funny for lifting my bed and him putting the rubber under my bed. But he was like, okay. I said, I know it seems kind of weird, but I just need it under there. And I was thinking just like one mat would work. And so sure enough, as soon as he left, then she started firing the weapon on me again. And I'd sit here on the couch and I'd feel it. Okay, no, it's still like zoom through my body, making me tremble. My stomach was blah, I was like, it was shooting up my feet, the electricity, like it was intense. So I was like, no, no, I need a lot more rubber out here where I sit and watch stuff on video, watch my romantic comedies and other little neat videos. But then I'd go back. Then I went back and laid on the bed, and sure enough, that direct energy weapon followed me to my bed. I'm gonna get you on the bed now. And then it started, and then I was like, damn it, I still feel it really intense. I went to try to lay down, and my heart was about to have a heart attack, and my stomach was flip flopping like immediate diarrhea. I was like, oh, I can't. Well, I was gonna throw up or something. So I was like, I can't believe that one big thick thing of rubber like that, it still went right through it practically. So, and imagine I was sleeping through this, you guys. I was suffering all night, trembling and shaking like that with all this energy coming through me, making me sick and nauseous and all this horrible effects. It was torture. It was absolute torture. I was like, what are you putting me through? So, but I kept having these ideas, and I bought like, I don't know, 20 or 30 Faraday fabrics. And those were not expensive, actually. Those aren't too expensive. But, when you buy in like 20 or 30 of them, so then I started layering like the rubber and the Faraday and the rubber and the Faraday. And then I had to go again and get two more of those rubber stall mats that thick each. So it was like ended up being like this thick under my bed. Good Lord. And I finally was able to sleep. I was finally able to sleep because the night before it was just like really, really, really hard to sleep. Even though, I mean, it was like anyway, I just went through all these different stages of it. And I finally with the three rubber mats, It finally tempered it down enough to where I didn't feel like I was going to have a heart attack when I laid on the bed. I still felt the energy coming through. I still felt like I was like almost, it almost felt like, I guess, a massage, a massage bed when you lay on something that vibrates, brrr, like it felt like that. Only you could almost feel like it was coming through your whole body. Like it was that much of like this, it came up about this high, about the height of your body. And you could just feel the energy go right through you. You know. But it wasn't, but the energy that's down lower, I guess you could say, that, when the rubber wasn't there was like so intense. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, so I finally got to where I could kind of sleep through it. And and I woke up in the morning. She usually shuts it off for a little bit in the morning. And she did. And then she left it off. Oh, thank you, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I don't know what she's up to now. I don't know what she's up to, but um, yeah, that's where I'm at. And that's why they use those, because they can gaslight you pretty easy. They can make it look like you're just imagining it or whatever. So, I guess that's it for now. And those are the things that kind of work if you're being attacked that way. Every way that I've gotten attacked, all the different black magic stuff, all the different spells they've put on me, all the things that they've done like I've had to come up with what to do about all of it. So whatever you might be facing, and this is where the daily boosters really benefit from what I've been going through, because I tell them everything just about. I'm like, here's a prayer to say that, and that pretty much dispels everything. Like anything that could be happening, it's gonna put the kibosh on it quick. Or here's what you do if they're attacking your animals. Here are some protective things to do for your animals. Or here's, how you shut portals, how you close portals or seal them off. Or here's how I had to figure all this stuff out, fighting for my life. Um, so I have no idea. More people know now. More people know. I don't know if that's why she stopped. I don't know. If the higher ups told her to stop or if she just decided like this just is not a good idea. I mean, it's so like somebody's going to find out any second if I keep doing this. Like it's a pretty obvious thing. Like just walking by, you could hear it. So it's like, I was like, I don't know. She went like, why does she keep doing this? There's been that I wouldn't have pushed it like that. Like I would have been like too scared to get caught. Like there'd be no way that I would have continued. But I'm glad she stopped. Really, really grateful. Really, 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 really grateful. But so I'm not going to relax at all. I'm not going to relax until I know that a lot of these people are taken care of, that they're put someplace safely away from people like us that they can attack anymore. I want to know that I'm actually safe to walk about and just be myself and just live as I want to live and not be attacked for whatever reason. Some people will attack you because they're jealous of whatever. There's so many different reasons. But it's basically just demons jumping on them and making them hate you. It's not them. That's the crazy thing. None of us, if they're a human being anywhere, if they're a human being, they don't even realize that their actual nature is to love unconditionally, is to be now he's snoring. Cute. Unless they watch my channel, then they know. We're supposed to be enlightened, all of us. That's our nature. That's how we were made by God. But the more you start listening to demons and actually buying into that and thinking that that's you, the more you behave like them and you start believing and thinking that you are them. And then you become the demon almost. So these people just don't realize that the reason that they're jealous or resentful or feeling like taking something from someone else, and all of that is just demons that they don't have the wisdom or the maturity to know that it's not even them that's upset. They don't realize. They're just that's why Jesus said, I forgive them, they know not what they do. That's exactly what he meant. He knew they were just run by demons. So, but those of us who kind of learned to heal and to master these things and self-awareness and self-love and all that, we know we're like, that is not me. If I start getting upset with somebody for a minute, I immediately go, get out of here, stupid demon. I chase them off. I don't sit there and have a conversation with that person to try to pick a fight. Hell no. Because that'd be doing what the demons want, and then they get their way, and then the demons pile on the other person, and then both of you are fighting. No, I've learned you don't listen to the demons, guys. Don't listen to the demons. They only want to destroy you. They want to get you. They want to unalive you. So demons will never. They will act like they have your back just to trick you to just take you down. Demons are never your friend, unless they're getting something out of it. I guess they'll pretend to be your friend or be your friend for a while, but if they can figure out, they're working for they're working for somebody who hates God, and you are a creation of God. So that makes him hate you, right? So that's the demon's job, is to work for all the dark and evil forces to try to, cause chaos, destruction, and everything. So yeah, don't listen to demons, you guys. Only listen to positive voices in your mind. Cultivate an attitude of positivity and optimism and believing in people. And I'm not saying believing in people in the sense of like being naive with rose-colored glasses, like, I kind of did for a while, I guess, with my divine masculine, thinking the best of him all the time, but and then he turns out to try to bury me himself because he was insanely jealous that somebody else might get me. Ultimately, that's I think why it became as escalated as it did, as he started getting more and more angry, more and more hateful to to end me, because he didn't want to see me go on to live a happy life with someone else. He didn't want to see, somebody else actually having the nerve, having the courage to choose me. It takes courage to be with somebody like me. It really does. It takes a special person to be able to go against the ego and to choose the person who's going to truly love you like you deserve. You have to love yourself enough to want that in someone. Anyway, so he would be incredibly jealous and envious of whatever guy had what he didn't have, that he would choose me, kind of thing. Anyway, I'm grateful for all of it. It's all been a valuable lesson. And like I said, I'm still going to be on guard about everything and everyone until it's become very clear to me the world has turned. I mean, it is turning a page. I mean, obviously, with what's going with the guy in control of things right now, or at least optically. We are coming into the time of common law, constitution, Nasara is about to happen, and we're going to have all these incredible miracles, and then it becomes like Revenge of the Nerds, those of us who've been frowned upon for being weird or unique or whatever, we're going to be the rising up, to be the inspiration for people to have a good, authentic voice, to be whatever they want to be. Not in a tainted way, and not in like an FU way or anything like that. Just like not even rebellious or angry or vengeful or anything, because we always leave that to God. Like, I don't seek revenge on anybody, you know. I yeah, I've tried to be as kind as I can be always to everybody, even the person that tried to attack me. Like I mean, one time I tried to let her know that I know what you're doing, and I was stomping and stuff around, but that was like, that was it, you know. I mean, I like tiptoe around here. I'm totally respectful, you know. I try to be just treat everybody like I want to be treated, you know. She leaves me alone, I leave her alone. That's as simple as it is. Because I know God's going to take care of it. If she needs to get caught and if she needs to do whatever, then God's going to handle it. I don't have anything to do. I don't want to. I don't even want to have to. I have enough in my own life to mess with than having to, you know, I'm going to leave it to God. That's one thing I've learned through this time is that God's got my back. He loves those who love him, and he really looks out for people with a pure heart and that do the right thing. So if you're like me, just leave it to God to take care of any of it. Just keep being kind and loving to people, period. Just keep doing the very best you can to stay alive and to protect yourself. And leave the rest up to him, you know? So yeah, I don't want to just keep talking just to talk. So I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think so. So, all right, you guys, have a good night. Have a good weekend. I love a lot of you, even the rest of you. I'm glad it's all happened because it's only shown me who I am, even though it was really weird to get to even think about it, you know, being some kind of chosen one or something. I was just like, what? No, surely I'm gonna die. There's no how am I surviving this? It was even shocking to me. I was like, what? But you know, I'm glad that I was shown that. You know, I'm glad that I chose to love myself. There's a lot that I'm really grateful for, as much as it was horrible. Um, you know, you got to be grateful for everything that happens. Because if God had it happen, it's all for a reason. It's all to refine you and make you better in some way. So I just can't, man, the other day I was like bawling my eyes out and I was just crying and I was just like, God, just fast forward this part, please. Just fast forward it. I don't want to be in this part. I want to be on the other part when I'm reflecting back on it. I don't want to be in this part. It's horrible. Um, so anyway, yeah, I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.